Okay, let's dive in. If you are, navigating the world of modern relationships, you've probably soaked up this one big idea. Connect fast.
Commit even faster, right? We sort of grew up thinking we were finally free from all those old-fashioned suffocating social rules. What was the phrase used?
The rigmaroles of propriety. Sounds pretty intense.
It does. Think about it, though. Years of waiting sometimes. Chaperones, letters back and forth. Spontaneity was just, well, impossible.
And modernity promised we could finally listen to the untrammeled callings of our hearts. Just
Yeah.
follow the feeling.
Yeah, exactly. If you feel it, go for it. Immediately. No holding back.
But, and this is really our mission today, isn't it? We're doing a deep dive into the psychology of why that very assumption that speed means passion means good is often, well, profoundly wrong.
Right. We want to explore why taking things slowly, building a connection bit by bit, isn't necessarily about being prudish or mean-minded even.
It's more about self-possession and really understanding the psychology of love itself.
Precisely. It's a grasp of how complicated our hearts actually are. It's not just indifference.
The irony is that whole pressure to speed things up, it makes sense if you think love is just pure joy. Simple.
But if we've learned anything, it's that love, yeah, it's beautiful, absolutely, but it also terrifies us just as much as it delights us, often.
It's something we might want to run from just as much as run towards.
Exactly. We're tempted to flee just as much as embrace.
So when we talk about slowing down, the advice sounds almost backward, doesn't it? Like the source material suggests waiting, a couple of weeks before the next meeting?
Or letting maybe 4 dates go by before even, a handhold.
Or waiting until it's practically a different season before you even whisper the word love. To a lot of people listening, that probably sounds like playing games or just being cold.
It sounds like that. But let's step back. Let's look at the actual risk involved here, the real risk in love.
Which isn't trivial.
Not at all. It's that simple, terrifying thing of standing completely helpless, vulnerable in front of someone else.
You're basically opening up your whole inner world.
Right.
Showing the flaws, everything.
And just hoping they see all of that, the good and the bad, and still choose to care.
That kind of opening is where the potential for devastation comes in, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's like, imagine taking down all the walls of your house and just trusting a stranger not to, kick the whole thing over.
That's a powerful image.
And the source material is really blunt about this. If heartbreak can genuinely, and often does, more or less kill us, emotionally, psychologically,
If it just shatters your world so you can barely function.
then starting off with small steps, modest steps, is actually the only logical thing to do.
So slowness isn't about old rules. It's a defense mechanism.
A sophisticated one, yeah. Stemming from that deep vulnerability. It's caution, but it's rooted in self-possession. You need to know if this person is safe ground.
Okay, I get the general fear of vulnerability,
Yeah.
but for some people it's much, much more intense than that.
Yeah.
Right? Because of their past.
Exactly. Let's talk about that shadow of the past. If you grew up somewhere, an environment where the first thing you learned about love was that it was, well, scarce and unpredictably distributed.
Wow. Scarce and unpredictable. That sets you up
For high alert, constantly. You're basically conditioned to expect an emotional famine.
Can you paint a picture of what that environment might look like?
Sure. It could be a really uneven supply of affection. Maybe a parent who is just unavailable, distracted, or maybe angry or violent or really sarcastic.
Not much room for your feelings, your sorrows.
Very little patience for that. Your opinions might get dismissed. So to survive, you had to keep it together, maintain poise.
And the only way to do that was?
Withdraw. Learn to soothe yourself. Manage completely alone. You adapt to what the material calls a restricted emotional diet.
That phrase, restricted emotional diet, it's so vivid, like a system forced to run on empty.
Basically, yes. Starved into just functioning. Minimum input.
Okay, so here's the crunch. This adult who's been rationing emotional intake for maybe decades, they meet someone. And this someone offers a banquet.
Yes. Generosity, care, kindness, tenderness, reliability. Unlimited supply, it seems.
You'd expect pure joy,
Right.
relief, fun.
You would
Yeah.
expect that. But the psychological reality, it's often very different.
What happens?
Yeah.
What's the first response to all that kindness?
It can actually be nausea or just outright panic.
Oh, delight.
Not delight. Their internal system, it just can't metabolize that richness. It's too much. Think about trying to eat a huge feast after fasting for years, you'd be sick.
The kindness feels wrong,
Dangerous.
dangerous, maybe even untrue. doesn't fit the world they know.
So how do they react to the person offering this banquet? Do they just run?
They might run. Or they sabotage, often to cope. To keep that hard-won self-possession, they feel they have to turn on our kind hosts.
Turn on them. How? Well, they can't admit that generosity itself is terrifying. So they find fault, they rationalize it, they decide the giver must be weak or needy or somehow odd.
They look for the catch in the kindness.
Exactly. Because accepting it feels like dismantling their entire survival strategy. It's too threatening.
So the person who is starved ends up fleeing the feast. And inside, they're sort of wishing.
Silently screaming, perhaps, please be generous enough not to overwhelm me. Don't give me this much reliability. I can't handle it.
Wow. That explains so much about why people sometimes push away good things, good relationships.
Precisely. It's not malice. It's deep. It's unconscious. The goodness itself feels like a threat to the familiar world of scarcity. So they run.
That gives us some real compassion for the cautious ones, the ones who pull back. But okay, let's flip the coin.
Right. What about the other extreme? The generous ones.
Right.
The banquet givers.
Well, those who want to move super fast. Paris, second date, pet names within a week, big gifts early on.
If caution comes from fear, what's driving that rush? We need to look at that with the same critical eye.
Because on the surface, it looks incredibly romantic.
Right.
Devoted.
It looks that way. But often underneath those big, bold gestures, there's something quite complicated, quite sad, actually. An untenably and unhelpfully anxious core. That's what the material suggests.
Okay, give us some examples. Beyond the grand gestures, how does that anxiety show up day to day?
It's often in the communication, like needing contact constantly, getting frantic if I haven't heard back in, say, 2 hours.
Okay. That constant need for reassurance?
Yes. Or needing to define the relationship. Like right now, before the appetizers have even arrived on date 1, they mistake that intensity for intimacy.
In movement for stability.
Exactly. They think if things are moving fast, they must be secure.
But wait, if they're the ones giving the banquet, laying it all out, why are they so anxious?
Because the giving isn't coming from a place of solid self-worth, usually. It's coming from a profound lack of confidence in themselves, a lack of belief that they have an inherent right to be loved.
So they feel they have to earn it.
Yeah.
Overwhelm the other person.
Yes. Earn it immediately, before the other person sees their supposed flaws, their inadequacy. The material puts it starkly. They're running to stay one step ahead of self-disgust.
Wow. Running from self-disgust, that paints a picture of the rush. It's a desperate race.
It really is a race against their own feelings of unworthiness.
Driven by a fear that love could just disappear.
Exactly. Often learned in childhood, too, that love is conditional, it's fragile, nothing's solid. And fundamentally, maybe they feel they aren't worthy of someone sticking around.
So the speed, the big gestures, it's an attempt to get a yes locked down quickly.
Before either person really knows who the other is.
Yeah.
Trying to outrun potential rejection, preempt it.
Okay, so we've got these two extremes, both rooted in fear, really. Scarcity trauma leading to withdrawal, fearing kindness.
And this conditional love trauma leading to overwhelming anxiety and that desperate rush.
Which brings us, hopefully, to something healthier, mature love.
Yes. The serenity of mature love. If those extremes are trauma responses, mature love is found somewhere. Well, boringly but beautifully, in the middle zone.
Boringly but beautifully. I like that. It avoids both extremes.
It avoids the frightened rush, and it avoids the equally frightened withholding.
So what does that actually look like? What are the signs, the hallmarks of that healthy middle ground?
It looks like patience, confidence, a certain calmness, self-possession again. It's often the natural result, the instinctive legacy of a reliable, loving upbringing.
Where your basic worth, your lovability, wasn't really up for debate.
Exactly. That baseline security was just there.
Now, for the listener, you said the internal monologue of this mature lover is key. It's not a strategy they're trying to use. It's just how they think.
It's automatic, yeah. It's the voice that's genuinely free from panic.
And what's it saying? What's going on inside their head?
It's something like, I like them, but I don't really know them yet. Or, I'd like them to stay around, but, I could cope if they didn't.
Okay, there's less desperation.
Much less. I'm attracted to them, sure, but I don't feel this overwhelming need to act on it right now. There's time.
There will be time. That's the crucial part, isn't it?
It is. Notice the difference. They hold the desire, the attraction, but they aren't consumed by it. It doesn't define their actions. They can afford to wait.
That ability to afford delay, that sounds like real emotional wealth. To pause, observe.
It absolutely is. It changes the whole dynamic. It's not an anxious chase anymore. It becomes a calm, genuine exploration.
Okay, but what about those of us, and let's be honest, that's probably most people listening who didn't get that perfect legacy of a reliable, loving upbringing. Is that mature serenity still possible?
Oh, absolutely. The material is very clear on this. It's attainable. It just requires more conscious effort, dedicated psychological work.
Work on what specifically?
It starts with self-compassion, really doing the work to become more certain deep down that we actually do have a lot to offer. And crucially,
That we can survive rejection.
yes, that's the linchpin. When you truly believe in your bones that you can survive rejection, the panic starts to fade.
And then you can afford to delay.
Then you can afford to delay. You can explore. You can let things unfold naturally without that frantic need for immediate security or commitment.
And part of that conscious effort involves honesty too, right? Being open about hesitation.
Radical honesty, yes. Instead of hiding uncertainty because you're embarrassed or afraid of looking weak.
Like actually saying, you know, I like you, but I need a little time to process this connection.
Exactly. We often fear saying that will make us look unsure or not keen enough, but actually that kind of open communication, that is the ultimate sign of self-possession, of strength.
It's acknowledging that love is scary and choosing to navigate it slowly, maybe even together.
Precisely.
So if we bring this whole deep dive together,
Yeah.
the goal isn't to be distant or cold. It's about building the inner confidence to act thoughtfully instead of just reacting out of fear or anxiety.
That's it. The final conclusion really is that the aim is to get to a place where when it finally feels genuinely right for you, you can take that thoughtful risk.
Reach out for their hand.
Reach out for their hand, invite them closer, maybe even say, I love you, but doing it with a genuine earned confidence, knowing
Knowing you'll be okay, whatever happens next.
you'll be able to survive whatever follows.
Yes, because it's that knowledge that you can survive the potential devastation that actually allows you to take the beautiful risk in the first place.
Exactly.
That's definitely something to think about as you navigate your own connections.